So there have been a ton of new releases to the beauty market, so I wanted to jump on and let you know my thoughts on them and whether I will be wanting to pick them up or whether I don't. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bettina and I'm the makeup enthusiast, and this is your go-to channel for all things Aussie beauty. There have been a lot of makeup releases released recently, so I thought it would be a perfect time to jump on and do a want it or don't. So for those of you that are new to these videos, I basically just scroll through either Sephora Australia or Mecca Australia, or I jump on Instagram and I look at Trend Mood or Beauty News. I also have been looking at Indie Mood and Indie Makeup Spotlight. I will leave all those Instagram channels, all those Instagram pages down below, so if you want to keep up to date on the new makeup releases, go follow them. So first of all, where do we start? Let's start with probably the older stuff. So first of all being we have the Jeffree Star Alien palette. First of all, the layout of this palette, no, like that is the main reason why I don't want this palette. Is it's like shaped like this weird alien design, and it's just it's a no from me based on that. But then if you get into the swatches, they're just really underwhelming. Like, I was expecting a lot more from Jeffree Star. All his previous palettes have been more adventurous, I think, in my opinion, with the color scheme, but this is just very kind of muted. Then I'm going to jump to Colourpop. Now Colourpop have released a lot of collections in the past couple of weeks. Firstly, we have the Bretman Rock and Colourpop collection. He released a lit and a wet dual collection with Colourpop. So there's two eyeshadow palettes. There's like a red eyeshadow palette and a blue eyeshadow palette. There is also a Super Shock blush for each collection. There's an ultra satin lip for each collection, an ultra glossy lip for each collection, and then there is also a body glitter. Now, I'm just not interested in any of this stuff. Colourpop, they just keep throwing so much at the consumers, and I just feel like a lot of their consumers are starting to get overwhelmed with just too much. So I think they kind of do need to rein it back in a little bit, because it's just getting too much. In saying that though, these body glitters, I don't want red or blue glitter on my body, so that to me is really weird. The blushes, the one for the Lit collection looks to be quite a red blush. That's really not going to work for my skin tone. The one for the Wet collection, it's more like a terracotta, so it would work better for my skin tone, but I'm still not interested. I don't like the ultra satin lips from Colourpop, and I don't really like the glossy lips either, so that will be a pass as well. And then both of these palettes, once again, it's nothing groundbreaking. It's nothing that is really interesting for me. The shades do look nice, but I could probably dupe these a million times over in my collection already. Also from Colourpop, they have released a 25 Super Shock Shadow Vault, and these are all brand new shades, extremely limited quantities for $99. This is another one that's just like, guys, just calm down. Like, this is ridiculous. I have about maybe 6 of the Super Shock shadows, and I only grab them out like once in a blue moon. I just don't like the idea of like the pot thing that you have to keep by itself, and it's just something that I don't really grab towards. I like having a palette. I like having a palette that I can sit in front, or that I can grab out like 2 or 3 palettes and open them up and sit in front and just like dip into all of them, rather than like twisting this pot open and then I have to close it really quickly to stop the air from getting into it so it can dry out. It's just too much. It's just too much. The only reason why I ever really use the Super Shock shadows is for like a glitter on the lid or like a shimmer on the lid. Some of these though are a bit confusing. Like, they have these split pans, and they have like these marble ones. I just can't with this one, and to me it's just more of a cash grab. Like, 24 shadows for $99, yes, it's a good deal, but do you really need another 24 Super Shock shadows? This is just excessive and no one needs it. Next from Colourpop, Colourpop is coming out the wazoo at the moment. The Colourpop and the No Kill LA collaboration, they seem to come out with one of these like every year, which I have no problem with at all. I'm just not interested in this one though. I love the whole concept behind it. I think the packaging is super duper cute, but I wouldn't go out of my way to purchase this. This would be something that I would like throw in my cart to kind of get me up to the free shipping, or like if it was on sale maybe. I love the whole idea, but I just think the collection is a little bit boring. There's like 2 shimmers that almost look exactly the same. There's a bronze and a matte brown by the looks of it, and they're all in the Super Shock formula, as I just said, which I don't like. Moving on to Juvia's Place, they have come out with 2 brand new highlighters. I'm gonna have to pass on these. I don't like the packaging to begin with. They're like this round cardboard box with this square pyramid kind of thing in the middle. I don't like the packaging to begin with. These just look too dark for my skin tone, so I'm gonna have to pass on those ones. Let's jump over to some indie brands. Sydney Grace has released their Autumn's Rain palette. I almost made a quite large purchase from Sydney Grace in the Black Friday sales. I ended up not going through with the purchase. When I got to checkout, shipping was like $53. Granted, I did have a load, like a bucket load of shadows in my cart, but their shipping is based on weight, which is totally fair enough. I don't hold it against them at all, but it did end up being like 53 Australian dollars. Sorry, not even 53 Australian dollars. It was 53 US dollars for shipping, which is almost like 75, 80 Australian dollars, which in my eyes is so much money for shipping. This palette I think is beautiful. Moving on to Kristen Lee Cosmetics. Now they brought out this new duochrome eyeshadow called Time Loop in the Black Friday sales. Once again, I almost made a purchase from Kristen Lee as well. This duochrome eyeshadow is gorgeous. It's like a tealy blue shift. Oh, this is gorgeous. I would really like to pick this up eventually, and I think Kristen Lee's eyeshadows are only like $5 or $6 US, so they are pretty reasonably priced, and if this is what you are going to be getting from Kristen Lee, then I'm interested. I am very, very interested. Next is the Enchanted Luster Chrome Bow palette. I mentioned this briefly in my Black Friday wishlist. This palette releases tonight at midnight, so if I can keep my eyes open, I'm going to try and pick this one up. This would be my first purchase from Enchanted Luster, but I have heard really good things, and I'm hoping that she can restock her Dragon Child palette very soon, because those prism shadows look gorgeous. Moving on, Linda Hallberg, which I think is Linda Hallberg in Swedish. So she released a deeper version of her Infinity palette. So her Infinity palette I think was like her first product, and it's like a multi-purpose palette. You can use it on your eyes, your brows, use it as contour, but her original palette was quite light, whereas this is a deeper version. This palette looks beautiful. I've seen swatches and I've seen people using it on their eyes for looks, but it's just not really something that I'm interested in. I am not disappointed by this product at all. I think there is really a place in her line for this product, but I totally understand why there's a lot of people that are a bit disappointed in this palette. The packaging on this is amazing. It's beautiful. She also released a new Metallic Mysteries 2 palette. Now, I saw this released and I felt a little bit personally attacked by this release. I made a purchase from Linda Hallberg for the Black Friday sales, and then like 2 days later she releases this absolutely stunning eyeshadow palette. I am very annoyed that I couldn't add this to my purchase, so that is one of the reasons why I feel personally attacked by it. This palette looks beautiful. I am really tempted to pick this up. I have an order on my way to me from her company, so I think I might wait and see how I like the formula from the palette that I got. So I might see what the formula is like on that one and whether I like it before I decide to pick this one up. But This one is gorgeous, and I think it's like the perfect palette for Christmas. I am really tempted, and it's just on my list of things to keep my eye on. The Besame Mickey Mouse collection. There's a lot of Mickey Mouse collections coming out. This one I think is pretty cute because it's based off more the traditional Mickey rather than newer Mickey. They do seem to have like a black lipstick and a red lipstick, which is pretty Mickey, like it color wise. It looks like they have like an eyeshadow palette or something with it. Oh, it's a mirror, so it's just two lipsticks and a mirror set. I can't get Besame in Australia, so I don't even know why I'm mentioning this. I do think it's pretty cool having a black and a red. Those are probably the two colors that you really think of when you think of Mickey, so I do think it's a pretty cool collection. We have the Melt Cosmetics Smoke Session palette. Now, I've seen the swatches of this palette. This palette swatches really nicely. It looks really nice. The colors look really nice. The greens in there, the dark like navies, they look beautiful, these colors. But I have one issue with this palette, and I know I'm probably gonna sound like a prude when I say this. Marijuana or weed, however you want to say it, in Australia is illegal unless you have a prescription. It's extremely hard, from what I've heard, to get a prescription. I am pretty against using the drug for anything other than kind of medicinal purposes. I don't think there's any need to use it other than if you are extremely ill or anything like that. That's just my personal opinion. I like the colors, I like the way they've been put together. Like the whole palette together is a really nice set of colors, and it's a nice collection, but I just don't think it's necessary to have the whole weed attached to it and the whole smoke session and all that. I just feel like this collection could have been done without having the weed concept attached to it. Moving on to something else that's not really necessary is the Kat Von D Lolita palette. I don't like the... yeah, I just feel like this has been done many times before, and the palette's a bit, it's a bit bland. I feel like you could probably take out at least 3 or 4 of these colors and still have basically the same palette. A lot of them look like they are repeats. There's also a Inkwell liner in the Lolita color and an Everlasting Shimmer veil in the Lolita color as well. All things aside with Kat Von D, I know everyone's boycotting her. Other than that fact of the reason why I wouldn't be purchasing from her, this palette doesn't interest me at all. And the swatches look a bit meh. Something that is exciting is Lisa Eldridge's new lipsticks. These look amazing, and I have seen some people show pictures of them, and there's like a velvet print around the outside of the lipstick, like the way they've kind of embossed the outside of the lipstick, it makes it look like velvet. Oh, they look beautiful. They look amazing. If I can get my hands on these, I really want them. I really want them. They look beautiful, and I think because they're done by Lisa Eldridge, they're going to be amazing. Another Mickey collection is from Dose of Colors. Now, this palette has sold out. I don't understand why it's sold out, because it's got... the colors, in my opinion, have nothing to do with Mickey Mouse. The colors are really bland, so that's sold out. I did have a look at it when I was making my Black Friday Dose of Colors purchase, but I was like, get the Mickey palette or get one of the other palettes, and the other palettes just appealed to me so much more, so I went that option over the Mickey palette. I do like the packaging on the palette, but the colors itself don't interest me. Next we have the James Charles and Morphe collection. So there is a palette and there is also a brush set. I won't be grabbing either. I am still not interested in trying Morphe products. I'm not the biggest fan of James Charles. I think it's awesome that he was able to collab with a brand like Morphe and design something that he is really passionate about and that he is really proud of. I think it is a really beautiful palette, but it's just not for me. It's not something I'm interested in. Like I said, I don't really feel like supporting Morphe. I'm not interested in their products, and I don't really feel like supporting James either. He's just not someone that I've ever really watched all that much or have ever really been interested in watching, so I don't really have that pull towards purchasing the product based on supporting an influencer. In saying that as well, I know there's been a little bit of drama around this palette and I don't think it was really handled all that well from James. I think it could have been handled a whole lot better. Some of the names of the shades in this palette, in my opinion, are just super tacky, and I'm just not about it. I'm just not about this palette at all. And there are a lot of other like indie brands that I'd rather support. There's a lot of other Australian brands that I'd rather support. There's a lot of other brands that I can get these colours from. The last product that I want to mention is this new green shade by Glaminatrix Cosmetics. The picture that I'll leave here is a picture of the colour in like 4 different kinds of lights. I really like this color. I think it's beautiful. It's like a spear minty green, beautiful. I really want this shade, and I don't know when it's released, but I might maybe purchase it and see if she can just throw it in my order. My order hasn't been shipped yet from her, so depending on when she releases this, maybe I might be able to include it in my order and not have to pay for shipping. The last item I'm going to be talking about is the Blush Tribe and Paulina Beauty palette. I 100% wanted to pick this up if I can. It is going to be on pre-sale at 10 AM GMT time, I think on the 1st of December. So if you are interested, I really like Paulina. I only just recently started watching her, but I watch like every single one of her videos. I think her content is really good. Her eye makeup looks, I find, really inspiring. She just recently sneak peeked the inside of the palette, and then she also sneak peeked swatches, and it is beautiful. It's like a half green, half pinky purple palette, and I think it's just going to look beautiful. So I'm going to try and get this one in pre-order. I know they have a very limited quantity on this palette, so if you are interested at all, then try and get it in pre-order, because I think she said they only have like 400 of the palettes or something available. That is my commentary on the latest releases to the beauty market. Let me know down in the comments box what your thoughts are on any of these new beauty releases. Have you already picked them up, or are you going to pick any of them up? Also, let me know down in the comments box if you like me doing these wanted or don'ts, and if you would like them to be a regular in my filming schedule, whether you want them to be like once a fortnight or once a month. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you can get notified when I release my new videos every Monday and Friday. That's it for this video, everyone. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.